Hello friends, welcome back to the Babeology Podcast. And if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, then welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the host, Gabby. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you didn't know I had a podcast, then the link will be in my description below. And I will also be on Spotify and Instagram if you want to go ahead and check out the other stuff that I have going on. But this is my newest project, this podcast. And basically it's just to go over just random important topics that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. A lot of beginner tips, a lot of beginner topics that professionals tend to not really acknowledge, because they're professionals and they are more experienced and forget that there are new people in the industry and that a lot of people don't know where to start when it comes to certain things. So this is my first official episode on the podcast. The first one that I posted was just a trailer to introduce myself, but this will be my first full episode. So this episode is going to be about the basics of getting into aesthetics. So if you were thinking of becoming an esthetician, or you've been thinking of going to school to see what interests you in aesthetics, then I kind of want to get into that and hopefully give you some hope or some motivation, or maybe you're just not sure if that's for you and you just want to know what it consists of. So I will go over the pros and cons, and I will also tell you how I got started and what I've learned so far. So an esthetician is somebody who works on skin. You don't do anything further than basically the top layer of your skin. You're not allowed to, but that consists of doing makeup, eyelash extensions. You can do permanent makeup. You can do more medical skincare. So you would treat acne, scarring, pigmentation. There are some really badass estheticians that know their stuff and they do focus on more deep treatments, and they don't just do relaxation facials, birthday facials, stuff like that. They actually get down to the nitty-gritty and they want to help you cure real life issues with your skin. So there's that aspect of it, and that's called medical aesthetics. Technically you're not a medical esthetician. That's not a real title. You're an esthetician, but there are estheticians that focus on the medical side of the industry. So that's really cool if you want to get into that. There's a lot you can do in the industry. There's so much that you can learn, but there's only so much I feel will interest a person, where you want to actually focus on that one specialty. And that comes along with training, continued education, stuff like that, because it's not just going to school and then getting your license and being I want to do it all. I mean, you can, but products and supplies are expensive, and learning and continued education is also very pricey. So if you have the money for it and the patience, the more you know, that's awesome. And I feel that's kind of where I barely figured I had to draw the line for myself. But there's a lot you can do in aesthetics. There's a lot you can do as an esthetician, even though you do have certain limitations and you can't do specific things. There's so much you can do, and there's a lot of money you can make. So I'll go ahead and tell you how I got started. So basically I've been licensed for going on 2 years, legit licensed. And I say legit licensed because I've been doing makeups for maybe over 8 years now. That's maybe longer, actually, probably 10 years, because I started doing makeup my senior year of high school, and that was me doing it for fun. That was me doing it on my friends and just kind of barely learning makeup. And then when I graduated high school, I started actually doing makeup on people, clients, weddings, birthdays, baby showers, stuff like that. And I was I was a pobrecita makeup artist when I first started, because I only had like a little makeup box, and that little makeup box had like the cheapest stuff. So I always think about it. When I think back, I'm like, damn, like the people I did makeup on back then, and there wasn't such a craze for makeup like there is now when I was doing makeup starting out. But I mean, there was good makeup, and like MAC was like the top makeup. And I mean, I didn't have no MAC, let me just say that. I had what was on sale and what I could afford, because I was just out of high school and I was working minimum wage and I was in school, so I couldn't like afford big bad makeup. I was doing like L'Oreal foundation, which I still use. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but all my foundations, I had like 5 foundation colors that I would mix. I had like maybe 3-4 eyeshadow palettes, and just like little odds and ends that I would even take sometimes for my mom's makeup, and she would give me stuff and be like, here, you can use this on your clients. So I would add it to my makeup box. And then after that, like, because I really wanted the best makeup, I started really getting obsessed with it. And when I got like a good job after I had finished college and stuff like that, after I had finished school, like I got a good job and was making pretty decent money for being like a young 21-year-old. And that's when I started really getting deep into makeup. And I wanted to work at MAC and like work at the counter to do makeup on people, but I just never did. I feel like I never took it serious to the point where I thought I was good enough, or like I could be good enough at makeup to do it on other people. Seriously, like I thought, oh, the people I do it on, it's just like for fun. That's pretty much how I can explain it. I never thought like, dang, you can be this good and like get better and keep doing it on clients. Like I just never took it serious, basically, which was stupid. I should have, because I would have gone so much further so much sooner. So I started getting deeper into makeup. I started buying like a crap ton of makeup. I would go to IMATs, like I'd go to all these shows, and I would drag people along with me to these makeup shows. So I was making it like an annual thing. I was going to IMATs. I was going to, Fame. I had gone to, there's like a couple more that I had gone to, but I was spending, you guys, like $500, $600, $700 in a show on makeup, because I was so obsessed with it. Like I just loved makeup. I still do, but money ain't free like that anymore. So now it's more like a special occasion where I'll just like splurge a little bit. But I'm telling you, I had palettes and palettes, like piles of eyeshadow palettes, just a lot of crap, just a lot of makeup. And I was actually doing pretty good. Like I was still getting clients, but I wasn't I wasn't taking it serious. So I was doing a lot of Instagram, like during that 2016 to 2018 era where everybody was posting all their eyeshadow looks. It was the cut crease era. Like I was a cut crease princess. Like I loved cut crease, like straight up highlighted, glazed, setting spray, like everywhere look. That was my favorite time as a makeup artist or makeup lover, whatever. So that's when I started getting really into it. And then I feel like, I don't know what happened, but I kind of just fell out of it. And I think it was maybe just life changes. Like I had started my makeup business, and I think that had a lot to do with it. When I started my makeup business, it took a lot of my extra money, so I couldn't just buy extra makeup. But I'm telling you, I was so obsessed with makeup that it made me want to start my own makeup brand. This is a time, I'm telling you, where everybody had a lash line, everybody had a lip gloss line, everybody, and this is like COVID time, everybody was doing their side hustles. So I was during the beginning, before everybody had a lash line, lip gloss line, all that. I had barely like launched my business, and then after that is when everybody had a lash line, like everybody. So I think I just got discouraged, honestly, and I saw a lot of girls that we followed each other during the beginning phases of like our businesses, like our small business. When I started making my lip glosses and stuff like that, my idea of it was like, one day I'm gonna get this like mass produced, and one day I'm gonna have a makeup line, which that's still a goal for me, but like on a legit actual professional market. But you know, I was starting my small business and I had made my lip glosses, my lash line. I had ordered my eyeshadow palettes, like I had gotten them private labeled, all this stuff that I did. Actually, I customized my eyeshadow palette. It took me so much work. And then I would do these pop-up markets. I would go to the fairgrounds. Like I was doing these markets and I did not know what I was doing. I was a beginner. Literally, I knew nothing about business, nothing. Like I started my Shopify store for online. Like I didn't know anything about shipping. I didn't even know how to set up like a USPS account to, like I didn't know anything. Basically, I didn't know anything. I learned everything on my own, and I do give myself the credit for that because I learned a lot on my own. And yeah, like, so that was that. I started my business, I got discouraged, and I think that's when I lost my love for makeup a little bit, because I saw a lot of these girls that I started with succeed, and then I was kind of just like giving up. And I can say kind of gave up on my makeup line, but it was kind of where you draw the line and you're just like, is this gonna take me anywhere right now? Is this growing? Like, you know, you have to make a decision. Like, it wasn't growing. I was losing my love for it. It kind of made me lose my passion a little bit for makeup for a little bit, but it's back. It's back since then, since I started like Babeology and all that stuff. I've accepted it. I started that business. It didn't 100% work for me, but it was still a lesson learned in a good way. It taught me a lot. I wouldn't know everything I know how to do now if it wasn't for that little like time in my life that I wanted that business to grow. So that's when I stopped really caring for makeup as much, and then I kind of just steered away from it because I'm like, okay, well, maybe makeup's just not for me. Maybe that's just my sign. But that's not the sign. That was not the sign. That was dumb of me to even give up on that, because I could have kept going. I just could have kept going, at least in my passion for it and doing makeup, even if the business wasn't going to work out. So if you have a passion for something and you really do love it, like, don't give up on that. So, because now I'm back and I do love it, and now I'm trying to get like my name back out there as a makeup artist, because it was for a little bit, and then I kind of like stepped away from the whole I do makeup conversation with people. So that was that. And then I had my baby, went to esthetician school. My time there was pretty fast. I did that because I thought, okay, well, I have the baby and I'll just continue to do makeup professionally, at least for a little bit, and like just see where it takes me, basically. But I knew I wanted to do makeup again, but I wanted to be licensed to do other stuff. I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be completely honest. I really didn't. I just knew I like makeup. I'm a makeup artist. Like, what else should I learn? So that was that. I didn't go in knowing like, oh, actually, yes, I'm lying. Actually, I had just gotten into lashes. I had not into it working, but into it, like I just started learning about it. And that's what made me think like, should I just get my license? Because what if this is something I like to do? Which aren't wrong, but I went to school because I wanted to see if that was what I wanted to do. Which, if you think you might like lashes or anything like that, like, just go get your license if you really are considering it. The faster you do it, the faster you can start working and making your money, getting your experience, all that. So I had taken a lash course before I even considered going to school, to see if that's something I even really liked. I was slightly intrigued. I was slightly interested. The lash course I took was crap though, I'm not gonna lie, but it did get me my hands on the tools. It did get me in a classroom setting. It was at a school, and I was able to like be in the environment. So I was like, okay, is this like it clicked for me. Like, is this something that I actually want to do? So after that, I think a month or two after, I literally enrolled in the school that I could find with like the earliest start time and the best scheduling and stuff like that, because I had the baby. She was only like 2 months, 3 months old. And I went to school, and then it took me, I started out full-time, didn't work out like that because it was just too much time away during the day. She was staying with my grandma, my sweet grandma. Thank you for watching her. While I was in school, because without her actually being there to watch the baby, like, it would have been a lot harder for me to even get through school in the beginning and all that. Like, being away from the baby, it was hard. So she watched the baby for me. I got done with school. I switched to part-time nights, and I finished in like a total of 6 months from start to graduation. That was like 6 months. And then it took me maybe like a month and a half or two to like get the whole ball rolling on my tests. And then I took my test, passed it, started doing clients here and there. Like, I was doing eyebrows, like whatever, you know, like I had done eyebrows, I had done a couple of lash sets, and I was doing this for like pretty much for free. And I had done it in a shed that I had set up in my parents' backyard, like a shed, like a she shed type of situation. I posted it when I had done it. It was like a cute pink and like coral painted. It was super cute. It was small, it was super cute, but I had that made so I can start taking clients. And I thought like, oh, I'll just work out of here to save money. I won't have to pay anyone rent. But again, I didn't really take it serious. I was still trying to like figure out, is this what I want to do? Like, what do I want to focus on? There was a lot to consider. And the baby was still really small, so that's also something that played into it. I couldn't just be like, yeah, let me just take all these clients, you know, and start working, because I had to also make sure somebody could watch her. She was still really small. So it came down to me being like, okay, well, I want to make money. I'm tired of being home, and I need to like start working. So I had been looking on Indeed for like small salons or spas where if anyone was hiring. There were a lot hiring, but they were far, and a lot of them had specific like strict rules, like, oh, you have to work 10 hours at least a day and like la la la, you know. So I'm like, that's not a flexible schedule for me, and I need something really flexible. So I was gonna do Massage Envy, I was gonna do European Wax Center, but then I was like, no, I don't know. And then I was like, maybe I'll just do Massage Envy. So I ended up applying at Massage Envy. I never heard back because I think they had already hired someone at the one near me. There's only like one that's close to me. And then I had applied at European Wax Center second, and they called me back, the one that's closer to me, but they were kind of rude. The one that was closest to me, they were just not a vibe for me, and they honestly probably didn't like me either because they never called me back. So that was fine. And I was like, you know what, maybe it's better if I work further away from my area, because I know a lot of people in my area that are like professional people from when I was working in the office. Like, I know a lot of like attorneys and like people in the area, you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of important people, and I didn't want to run into anyone and then be like, oh, you work here now, you know what I mean? So I worked at the one that's a little bit further. It's in like San Diego County, and it was like a 30-minute drive. So I literally thought to myself, I'll just work here and get my experience at least for like a year. I was there maybe, and I made that, so when I made in my YouTube videos about it, but I was there maybe like I was there for like almost 5 months. And then the environment at European is not 100% for everyone. And I was already knowing that going in, but I was like, yeah, I have my experience. I'm pretty good at waxing now. And I honestly fell in love with it. I loved it. When I first started, I was kind of scared. I was intimidated. But I thought to myself, like, I paid for my license. I paid for school. I already paid for school once when I was in college, and I didn't do anything with my degree. So I'm not gonna waste this too. Like, I actually like doing beauty. So I was like, it's either this or you're gonna go train and do something else, but you need to do something. Like, I just couldn't accept the fact that if I do this and I don't love it, like, I wasted my money again. So I knew that I needed to actually focus and give it a chance. So I did, but then after those like 4.5 months, at European, I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. So I'm going to go out on my own. And I thought I would last a little longer, but I got so excited, and it was honestly just so much drama. And I know they have drama at all of them, but it was just so much drama that I was like, I don't need this, and I'm just going to start planning my own business. So I started looking for suites before I quit. And I have that all in my YouTube videos in the past, like couple that I posted. That's when I really was just like, no, I'm going to start my own business. So it's not that easy, but it sounds easier than it was. But I left European, and I had found my suite before I quit. So I literally signed my lease for the suite like a couple weeks after I quit, or maybe like a week after I quit, something like that. And it just all rolled in from there. So that leads us to here. That leads me to now. I'm now 4 months into being in this suite on my own. I've learned a lot. I feel like I have gone on a roller coaster with myself, because I'm telling you, when I finished esthetician school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't really, it hadn't clicked for me yet that maybe you should just focus on makeup again. Like, that was your first passion. And I didn't really give myself the full chance. So I had a conversation with myself recently, actually, maybe last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, where I was just thinking, why did you even stop? Like, you should have just kept doing it. So, and I think a lot of it has to do with, honestly, you see all these girls on Instagram, and they're like showing you all the money they make with lashes, all the money they make with like deep treatment facials, like all that, but you don't see the like hard work. You don't see the continued education. You don't see all the products they have to spend money on. Like, you don't see all that. You just see the money they make. So I feel like for a new esthetician, you're just like, well, what the heck should I do? Like, there's money in everything, but what do I want to do? So I think I kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything, to the point where now I'm like, no, I love makeup and I love waxing, and I'm gonna do those too. I tried to do lashes, meaning like I tried to give it a chance. It's not for me. My back was killing me. Like, it's just not for me. I was getting anxious. I was getting anxiety. Yeah, so it wasn't for me, lashes. I like doing nails, but obviously I'm not licensed, so I do it for fun. I love doing nails, but that's not like what I want to focus on either. So it's makeup and waxing that really I had to like buckle down and be like, what is my passion? I love those two things, and that's what I'm gonna stay straight focused on. And maybe later down the road I'll focus on other things, but for now, like, that's what I love. That's what, when I do it, I don't feel like, oh, like I don't want to go in and do that, I come in and I'm so excited to do it. So that's that. But yeah, the basics of becoming an esthetician are pretty much that, like, just knowing that you're gonna give it a chance, and there's so much you can do. There's a lot of options. The downside is that wherever you work, it's gonna be hard to find a place that you love. There's a lot of business owners, spa owners, like, it's a lot of independent spas, and then there's a lot of chain spas. So Massage Envy, like, it's the same thing as like European. There's drama. They don't treat you the best. The hours kind of suck. Like, you don't get paid the greatest. But then when you go work on your own, it's like all this overhead. Do you want employees? Are you gonna go to a sola? A sola alone is also very expensive, just the rent. So it's just a lot of things that come into play. And yeah, like, there's just a lot to it. So I know this episode's already kind of long, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a part 2 to this, where I actually get into pros and cons, because I know I kind of talked a lot about myself and how I got into it, but I just wanted to give you like a foundation and kind of let you see the real side of how I got into it, and the struggles that I've gone through to get to where I am now. And I'm still at the beginning, so that's just the beginning for me. This is the beginning for me. But I want to do a part 2 to give some more clarity on pros and cons of the industry, just the basics. there's a lot to it. There's a lot to consider. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of people who start this and don't end up doing anything with it because it's not for them. So yeah, there's a lot, but I appreciate you watching and listening. I appreciate your support and your interest in any of this. So stay tuned for the next episode. Please go ahead and look at the links in the description boxes. I'm going to go ahead and link everything. And if you haven't subscribed or followed, go ahead and subscribe and follow so that you can catch the next episode that'll most likely be posted next week. I don't know how far apart I'm going to put these, but I will come out with that one very shortly. And follow me on Instagram. If you have any questions, I want to do a Q&A. I keep saying that, but don't nobody got questions for me. So I really want to do a Q&A. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. DM me on Instagram. Like, just let me know topics that I can discuss to like give some more information. But I appreciate everybody's support. I hope that you have a blessed rest of your day, your week, whenever you're watching this, whatever you're doing. I hope that you are blessed and that whatever you have going on, you have nothing but good luck, like nothing but the best. I just want everyone to succeed. I love hearing success. I love seeing success. So that's it for now, and I will tune back in for the next episode. Bye.